Well, it looks like we now have episode 2 of the great groundbreaking series. It's breaking new ground. This series is breaking new ground by not doing anything. Not doing anything. I don't know what it is with these Disney Plus series, but they tend not to they tend to spend their time really doing nothing. This episode is basically like those clips that they've put out. That's basically what this episode is like. It's like, yeah, you probably could have done all that in about 30 seconds. That's how hollow the episode is. I'm still like, well, I don't really know where this series is going exactly. I'm still not I'm not sure. But again, it's another episode that is trash. It is trash, and this time I actually went for it a second time, fully to get all my notes. So I have my notes here, and there's plenty to cover on this. Although we shouldn't be here long. We shouldn't be here too long. The main thing I will praise that at least it was only 22 minutes, so that's a good thing. Maybe a little late. It might have been like 2021, because the previously on that went on for about a minute and a half. The credits went on for about, we know how the credits go. They go on so long. It's like you're making a TV series, not Lord of the Rings trilogy. But that's what it's like. You get long credits, but at the same time, it's like, yes, not as long to spend on it. But yeah, you would think having that amount of time, you would try and do a bit more with your episode. But again, I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is leading to. And yeah, for people that didn't see the clips going about, the showrunners did say that this show was like, doing your laundry, and it definitely is. That's probably the worst part of it. At least for me, is that it's really boring. It's really boring. There is actually something decent in here where it's one of those sort of, I haven't watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but a lot of people talk about John Walker. He was the character people cared about, not Falcon, not the Winter Soldier. That was the guy that they gave a shit about. And I think we have a similar situation here, where it's one of those sort of moments, just like, I can't, can we not focus on this guy? I'm not interested. I'm not interested in She-Hulk because you haven't done anything to capture my investment or interest in the character. Instead, you introduce another character where I'm like, but he's got something good there. You're introducing something that could be really good, but we all know you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. But let's kind of just dive into this episode anyway, if I get on the right screen. But yeah, hopefully we shouldn't be along. But again, I've took plenty of notes here, so there is quite a bit to talk about. There is plenty of issues. Definitely plenty of taking shots at certain people, but we'll come to all that. But it basically starts off with the sort of fallout or the aftermath of, that shit fight in episode 1. That fight that was so poorly edited that, characters are over here in one shot and then they're fucking all the way over there. So it's kind of coming off of that, and they're talking about Titania. That's how they say her name. They talk about Titania, and they say she is a super-powered influencer. I just hear things like that, and I'm just like, remember Iron Man 1. Remember the first Avengers film. Now we're at the point where there's such a thing as super-powered influencers. Just shut up. Just shut up. But that's how it kind of starts off. Just all the news coverage. This guy is talking. This is where they come up with the name She-Hulk, which, as we kind of go into, she's not happy about the name. Not happy about the name at all. And she gives her reasons for that. But yeah, they're all the people were in the bar cheering She-Hulk, She-Hulk. Even though, to begin with, she didn't want to help anybody in case she ruined her suit and shoes. That was more important to her than helping people, than saving people. So basically, in this episode, so we start off. They're in a bar drinking. Great, great. You know, you couldn't have spent your time on something of worth. No. But this is when she kind of takes issue with the name, where she says, "I can't even exist without being a derivative of the Hulk." It's like you literally are a derivative character. She-Hulk, even in the comics, is still a derivative character. And again, it's one of those characters in the comics, from at least from what I checked, that is handled well with that aspect on it. But she is a derivative character because she is the female version of the Hulk. It's just in the comics a better handled derivative character. So you know, you are a derivative character. You are a derivative of the Hulk. So there's not really anything that can be done about that. And then her friend Nikki says, "That's like to Hulk. The name Hulk. That's a pretty dumb name too." Does anyone think that's a dumb name? I think it's a pretty good name. Hulk. That's a good name for a superhero. But no, we've got to try and, you know, shit on Hulk, I guess. And then this toxic man, this toxic male, this toxic masculinity-filled male, he walks up and he assumes that the only reason she done this was for publicity or something like that. And then he goes on to say, again, this is the writers creating this, you know, they're creating this idea that this is what men say about women, where they get the guy to say, remember the women wrote this line, not men, where the guy says, "There's a hot chick over there, I'm going to talk to it." Yeah, he calls the woman it, and he says it to a woman. He says it to a woman that he's going to go and talk to it. It's like, a man's not going to, you know, even if a guy did say that about a woman, they're not going to tell a woman that. They're not going to say that to a woman. But this is the writers. They are specifically creating these sort of scenes because I don't know. I guess that's how they view men. I guess that's how they think men see women. This is basically, oh, he's objectifying women. Even though in episode 1, what was it that She-Hulk was doing? That's right, she was objectifying Steve Rogers. The very end clip was her talking about Steve Rogers' great ass. Oh, but no, she's allowed to do it. She's allowed to do it. Double standards, my friends. How about everybody just get naked? That's what I say. That's what I say instead of having stupid double standards. But that's what I find hilarious about this show. It's like, she's already objectified a man, but yet she's going to, you know, complain about men objectifying women. Whatever. But yeah, it's not really believable that a guy would say that to another woman, that he's going to go and talk to it. It's like, nobody says that. Nobody says that. Someone would probably say that for a bit of a laugh. You know, it's just something funny to say. You probably say it to your mates. You wouldn't say it to a woman. Because it's not a good look. But that's what the writers do. It's like, we all know what they're doing with this show. We all know what it's about. So it's one of these shows that anytime a man comes in frame, I'm like, oh, what are they going to do to this guy? What are they going to do to this guy? So that guy goes off to talk to it. And then Nikki comes back. Yeah, and then she starts. We've already seen this clip in the trailers where she says, I did write the line down. "I did not go to law school to become a vigilante. That is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans for some reason." So the billionaire and narcissist is clearly a shot at Tony Stark, even though narcissist doesn't really apply, considering he gave his life so you could have life. But again, it's a shot at Tony Stark. That's what it is. You know, I don't know if they just, oh, this will be funny, we say this, or they're purposely doing that. You know, you're always stuck in the middle on that question. You're like, are you doing this on purpose? Are you just, or what? I don't know what you're doing. But again, so I don't really understand as well. It's like, Oh, vigilante. That's for being a vigilante's for billionaires. The fuck are you talking about? Billionaire? No. How many vigilantes are there that aren't billionaires? More of them than not. There's more vigilantes that are not billionaires than there are that are billionaires. So the idea of being a vigilante is when you're a billionaire. The fuck are you talking about? It's like, you ever heard of Spider-Man? He's not a billionaire. He's not a billionaire. He's not a narcissist. Again, trying to apply. Oh, what? No, if you want to save people, you're just a narcissist. Oh, that's right. Putting your life on the line. Putting your life on the line for other people. That's narcissism. That's narcissism, guys. It's like you're literally going to have Daredevil in this series. It's like he's not a billionaire. He's not a narcissist. And yeah, of course, adult orphans as well. So I don't really know if you're talking about Batman. Could be talking about Daredevil. He's an orphan. Other than his, mother being in the nunnery, but he's like an orphan as well. So that's kind of what. But yeah, just that billionaire and narcissist just comes across as fuck Tony Stark, even though he sacrificed his life so you could live. Oh no, he's a narcissist, fucking narcissist. But let's continue anyway. Let's continue on. I'm surprised we've been going this long, to be honest. But yeah, it's one of those things. As soon as you go over it scene by scene, it's like everything exposes itself. It all comes out. It all comes out. It all shows itself. So yeah, Nikki says, "Oh, you could be an Avenger." She-Hulk says, "Oh well, do they offer medical health care, maternity leave, a pension? Are they even paid? They should be." But in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Falcon had to go and get a loan because apparently working for they didn't get paid. So they should be getting paid, but it seems like they've established that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that they don't get paid, which is very strange to me. Very strange that, even Pepper Potts wouldn't be making sure like the heroes, the Avengers have their a wage. They get paid. But they've already fucked that up with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Because they clearly needed to take down Tony Stark. Don't know. But I guess in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they needed to have a scene where a black man gets refused a bank loan. So that's probably why that's now been established. Because they don't think about what the fuck they're doing. Oh. So, and then her boss comes up to talk to her in a bar about something to do with her job that, no, it's like you would do that in an office. Why are you doing that in a bar? Which, we'll get to it in a second. But yeah, like he says, oh, can you come back as Jen? This is a serious conversation. I think what they're doing with this is, again, I don't even want to be thinking about shit like this, but I really think what they do, oh, well, he wants to go back to Jen because he's afraid of her. She damages his masculinity. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're going for. But yeah, so basically what happened in the court with the fight is the case has now been thrown out or something like that because the jury are now biased towards Jennifer because she saved people. So now the case where he says this has unraveled our case. We can't have this sort of going forward, so we're gonna have to let you go. We're gonna have to fire you. So he decided to fire her in a bar rather than in his office. Why? Don't know. The writers couldn't be asked, could they? Couldn't be asked. But it's like, why would he do it here? But with her coming back to Jennifer form, did it show us? No, why is it not showing us? Yeah, she falls. She falls because she's been drinking. Now, when she goes back to Jennifer, because now she's pissed. And then we get a little montage of her going for job interviews. They all refuse to have her because they don't want a sideshow. So now she's looking for a job. She's looking at 10 offbeat jobs for a fresh start. I guess that was meant to be a joke. Again, something I haven't talked about yet is, it's still not funny. It's still not funny. I really, it's something I don't get, that people are saying it's funny. There are people out there saying, oh, this is hilarious. Like, no, it's not, though. There's nothing funny in it. There's nothing funny. But she's on the couch with her friend Nikki. Nikki's going out for a date, and Jennifer's got to go. She's got to go to family dinner. What a superhero show. It really is, isn't it? So far, all that's happened is she's lost her job. Wait, no, she's went drinking, lost her job. Now she's going to family dinner. So she goes in there. Her dad says, we've already told the family that you've been fired, so it isn't awkward. And then that toxic male over there, he says, he points at her and says, you lost your job. He's obviously a dumb guy because he's a toxic male. And then he talks about how he got a promotion at Best Buy. So what else are they didn't really... Nothing much really goes on in this. They are attempting comedy. It's not quite panning out. Not quite panning out. So we can kind of quickly blow through this bit. I'm surprised. Again, as I say, every time I see a man come on the screen, I'm like, what are you going to do to him? How are you going to somehow reduce him to being nothing more than a toxic male? So I'm surprised they didn't do that with the father. They actually handled the dad pretty well, where he does give her a bit of encouragement. So I was honestly surprised by that. I was just thinking of what they're going to do. Is it going to come out that he beat her as a child or something like that? Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, she's basically complaining about... she's such a fucking whiner. Again, I don't know why they think, like, getting you invested in a character is... Oh, let's just have a whine about me. So that kind of just gets... That's kind of just old now. So, yeah, she says, a weight has been lifted, but a weight has been put back on her, something like that. The dad basically, it's some basic shit. It's some basic shit, it is. He just says, well, you're still standing. So, I don't know, continue on or something like that. But we can kind of skip most of this. And then she goes back to the bar because she's lonely. She's lonely. And I'm pretty sure that guy behind the bar, is he not the one that was in Cobra Kai, I think? In the little shop. It's just because I watched the first episode a few days ago. I'm like, that looks like the guy out there. We've got Cobra Kai season 5's coming soon. While we're in the midst of absolute garbage, Cobra Kai. Do you want to just talk about Cobra Kai? Should we just fuck this off? Let's just talk about Cobra Kai. But let's continue, I guess. So yeah, this was the guy that he was in the courtroom. He was like he works at some fucking law firm, whatever. And he offers her a job. So she's now got a... Yeah, we can kind of fucking skip this as well. And she says to who is that? No, I don't know. It could be anyone. Maybe I'm confusing him with someone. But yeah, she says, Jen Walters is back, baby. So now we're at her first day in work. And then we start getting more issues. They're starting to add more things in where I'm like, you're not going to explain any of this, are you? You're not going to do anything for this. Some of this, again, we've seen in the trailers. So basically he says, there's been more eccentric superheroes are coming out of the woodwork. Now, again, how? Again, these are the things that need to be explained. You can't just add in something to the world building and just say, well, now we've got all these eccentric superheroes running about. Where are they then? Why haven't we seen them in any of the other movies? If there's so many of them running about, why is it only just now that there's now loads of, superheroes or, superhuman people? So that's something that they've now added into the world building of the MCU, and I imagine they ain't gonna do any work to explain this or to do anything with it with this show. It's just gonna be, here you go. There's now superhumans everywhere. So they're adding things like that in, and they're probably not gonna do anything to explain why that is, how that is, when did it start. Again, we've had all these movies in the MCU, and there's only been a select few superheroes. We haven't really seen many others. But now, all of a sudden, there's loads of them. Just loads of them. So now it cut, like, he wants her to be She-Hulk. Like, when she's, like, for working here. So they run a division that represents superhuman people. So they're of course thinking, well, we'll get this work again. She's already superhuman, so you'd have a superhuman representing superhumans. That's basically the idea. The idea behind it. So he wants her to come to work as She-Hulk. So that's kind of that. The issue though that presents itself is a bit of a continuity issue. She's now turned into She-Hulk. Again, the clothes she's wearing aren't latex. They aren't latex clothes. As we seen in the first episode, when she, goes big, like the suit will rip. The suit will rip. Yet in this episode, she's turned into She-Hulk. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. She's not wearing... These clothes aren't latex. They're not latex, so they should rip open. They should, the sort of the seams on the shoulder should kind of rip. But it doesn't happen. They forgot. They forgot that it's like, you shouldn't have showed us that in the first episode. Because now we have an issue. And she does actually bring this up, and it just makes it worse. It makes it worse that the writers didn't realise what they'd done, even though they wrote a fucking line in the show. They wrote the line in the show. It's like, now you're just highlighting it for us, you dickheads. You're just highlighting the problem now. So going through this office place, she now starts, breaking the fourth wall. Whining again. Always whining. It's like, you've just been sacked. You've been given a job. All you have to do is turn into your She-Hulk persona. Fucking hell. So difficult, is it? So then it's like a load of bitching and whining. The people in the office are going to think the only reason I got this job was because, she says I'm clearly qualified, but they think the only reason I got this job is because I'm She-Hulk. It's like, well, that is the reason why. The idea behind it, obviously, is that they want a superhuman to represent their superhuman clients. That is the idea behind it. So that is the main reason why you've been hired. That's not to say you're not qualified of being a lawyer. It's like you clearly are. You've done your law school, all that sort of shit. I imagine once we get another courtroom scene, it's not going to come across like you're a lawyer, because the writers admitted they knew fuck all. They knew nothing about legal stuff. But again, so that is the reason what's the issue with that? There's no issue with that. I don't know if they're trying to relate. They're going to say the only reason I got this job was because I was a woman. Something like that. So she's just going through the building. Everyone's looking at her. Then, of course, we've got a room full of men. So we must make a comment. Where she says, what did she say? These dodos never had to deal with this on their first day of work. It's a room full of men. He asks her some sort of... Because she ain't been listening, she's daft cow. Because she hasn't been listening, she's now like... So, like, he says, oh, what do you think about it? She just says, oh, I'm agnostic or something. Don't really know what that was about, but she's got a new office that she loves. A fucking cringe, friend! She really is fucking cringe. It's just this scene. It's the way she starts moving about. It's like, fuck off. What is this? Why would anyone be moving like an absolute? It's just cringe. It's so cringe. The way she sort of dances over to the minibar. The fuck. And again, another one of those moments where I'm just like, remember how the MCU started? Remember how it started? Now we're at this point. Now we're at this point where this cringe woman talks about the desk and then cringely dances over to the mini fridge. So yeah, she's cringe. To say the least, very cringe. It's just cringe actions. And then this, again, another man shows up and like, what are they going to do to him? What are they going to do to them? But he's clearly a drapist or something like that. Let's be honest. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised though if that's what they do. We already know that they've got some character coming into it at some point, and he represents the social commentary on incel culture. So yeah, I don't know who this guy is, but yeah, again, it's just like whenever you see a man, it's like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? But he gives them a welcome basket. He's clearly gonna be a stalker. So this guy, we don't really need to talk about that. He's just kind of sacking people or something like that. So where do we go from here? Oh no, yeah. So the other part I forgot to mention is the highlighting. Where they highlight the issue with her clothes because she says, "I'm gonna have to get a whole brand new wardrobe to come to work." It's like, well, no, clearly not. Clearly not, because these clothes fit you. Again, this Tatiana Maslany is about 5 foot, 5'2" maybe, and she's now grown into 6'7". 6'7", and her fucking clothes are still perfect, fit perfectly. No, not one rip. All you had to do was have it ripped. But again, and then they say, I'm going to have to get a whole new... It's like, no, well, you don't though, do you? You don't, because you don't need it here. You don't need it here. So, yeah, it's dumb. Fucking dumb. They haven't thought about it. I don't know if they've forgotten to do it in CGI. I'm guessing it is a CGI suit, isn't it? CGI shite in this as well. Very shite. Very a bit, wonky. So what do they do in it? So, yeah, again, most of this shit has been in the trailer. Most of this shit they're doing here, we've already seen it in the trailer. It's this part here, it does add a bit more, because this scene is set up that this guy wants her to represent, what do they call him? Emile. You know what I've done? I wrote down Emile Blon. And I thought, I'll remember. I'll remember. Now I don't remember the last 3 fucking letters. Emil Blonkovich? But Abomination. I may as well just say Abomination. So he wants her to represent Abomination. He's got his parole coming up. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding the case. And that's pretty much how they set it up. And she says, well, I have a conflict of interest. But in the trailer, it made it look like, he doesn't give a shit, even though we know within sort of, lawyer work, legal work, if there's a conflict of interest, you can't do it. So there's no way you would just say, it's fine. But yeah, the way it's set up is, he's, Abomination has signed a conflict of interest waiver or something like that. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if it's been made up. I'm assuming it's a thing. I don't know. But it doesn't. I don't. Yeah, I can't really comment on that because I'm not a lawyer. But yeah, she still continues to go, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with this. And he says, well, if you don't take... She says, I'll do any other case but this. He says, well, if you don't do the case, you don't have a job. Again, I don't know why people think workplaces work this way. Where you can just turn... No, it's like... No, this is your new boss. He's gave you a job to do. You're expected to do it. So this... Well, I'm not comfortable with it. Doesn't matter. You've been told to do a job. Fucking do it. Do it. Stop whining. Stop whining. Oh, we're close now. We're close now. I'm really surprised we went this long, but yeah, it was a good idea to kind of take notes. But yeah, as you can tell so far, trash episode. It is absolute garbage. So this is the. So I think we've seen this building in the. This is the maximum security prison for whatever. Don't know. Department of Damage Control. I don't know if we've seen this, and I can't remember if we've seen this in the MCU. Where like the Department of Damage Control, I don't know. But yeah, she has to revert back to She-Hulk, back to Jennifer. Her clothes perfectly fit her still. They didn't have rips, and they didn't at the very least have it sort of stretched out. Now it's still the same size. I think they've just forgotten it within the like CGI and that. I think they've just forgotten to do that. And no one's fucking noticed it because Marvel have been, knocking on the torture chamber door where the VFX artists are. Just saying, here, hurry up. Don't matter if it's shite. We don't care about our customers anyway. So yeah, this guy here again, another man on screen. It's like, what are they gonna do to this guy? What are they gonna do to him? But yeah, he just explains to her, stay behind the yellow line when you go and talk to this guy and stuff like that. We can't promise you your safety and all that. It's like this fucking maximum security prison ain't good then, is it? It's not good. It's like your house in Abomination. Maybe it's best to make sure and be 100% that this guy can't get out and attack people. But it's Tim Roth. Oh, Tim Roth, what are you doing? What are you doing, Tim? You don't need this. You don't need this, Tim. You really don't. Come on, go and do a Tarantino film. Do that. You belong in greatness, Tim. You do. And this is kind of the part of the episode where I was like, I like this guy. I'd like to follow this guy. Fuck She-Hulk. This guy's interesting. This guy's got something to work through. He's got things to get over. He has a goal. But no, can't spend too long with something good. Again, it's like they introduce shit like this. It's like, well, I want to know. I want to see this guy's story now. That's what I want to see. Again, it's the same John Walker situation where they introduce a character that's more interesting in the characters that the title of the show is named after. And it's Tim Roth, so it's fucking excellent acting as well. Excellent acting. I think that's what kind of makes this the part with him so much better. Is because the way he sort of his acting abilities. But this part I did actually like. I was just like, come on, just give me this show. Just give me Abomination working for his demons. That would be something interesting. But it's so dumb. It's so dumb for them to introduce shit like this. It is. Because it's like, well, this guy's now more interesting than your titular hero. But I did write down what he says, because again, it's something interesting that you could do. But basically explaining, it's like because he went on some rampage in Harlem. It's been a long time since I've seen that Hulk, the Edward Norton Hulk movie. So bits of it I can't really remember. But yeah, so he does go on. He talks about she says you went on a rampage in Harlem. That's not the government's fault. And then he says, well, the government gave me the super soldier serum. It was them that done it, so it's not really my fault. They gave me the stuff. And then because I'll kind of they try and they attempt at some jokes again, don't work out. They talk about his 7 pen pals. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, so basically, I'll read through the whole quote, what he says, and just why I think that you have something there. You have something that would be fucking interesting. where he basically says, you know, I was a highly decorated soldier. I was sent out to take out a threat. I thought I was the good guy. I thought I was going to be Captain America. And now that threat, your cousin, is held up as some kind of hero, and I'm locked up in here. So that's something you can work with. That's something good to work with. You know, a guy in that situation, he was just doing his job, gave this serum to say, you know, take out this threat, thinking he was, you know, the good guy. And now, you know, the threat that he was told was a threat is now you know, he's the hero. And he's just locked up in here, looked at as nothing more than the villain. These are fucking things you can work with. But yeah, again, it's like one of those, but oh no, you know, when the scene ends, you're like, but why not? Why can't we just have this guy? Oh, they do it quite a bit. They introduce shit like this. It's like, yeah, now people want to see this though. They want to kind of see what this guy's dealing with, what this guy's going through. It's interesting things. It's probably going to get turned into a joke. If I'm guessing he's going to be in more episodes. You don't need it, Tim. You don't need it. Great actor, get most roles you want. I'm honestly surprised he said yeah. So, because he doesn't need to do this shit. Doesn't need a bit, but, you know. I think some actors, it's just like, you know, I'll fucking take their money. Take their money, I'll read whatever shit they give me. Don't really matter, it's a bit of cash. I imagine he's cost quite a bit. I imagine he's probably made $500,000, do you think? Or am I going too far with that? But he's probably made a bit of money. And then that ends, and it's just like, oh, why? Why? But yeah, fucking great acting from Tim Roth. It really is. That's what I think made it, you know, appeal to me a lot more. Because it's well acted, and I just think it's something interesting. Something very interesting. But no, can't do that. It's like, it's always surprising that they write these sort of kind of competent scenes, but that doesn't continue. I don't think they realised, I don't think it was done on purpose. I don't think they wrote that. I think it just turned out that way. And then she's on the phone to Hulk, not letting him get a word in edgeways. Can't let him mansplain to her. No. So, yeah, she's just going through, because she thinks Hulk's going to have an issue with her representing Abomination. But he says, oh, well, Abomination sent me a letter, a nice letter a while ago, apologising and all that sort of stuff. And then, as it turns out, you know, this goes on for a bit. They're not really saying much. And if you remember that little... I'll see if I can kind of get the frame a bit better. So, yeah, if you remember that ship, the ship from the last episode, he's on that. So, I don't really know what they're going for with this. I'm just kind of confused now. It's like, well, what... I imagine it's going to be some sort of thing that now, you know, she'll ring him up and he'll be doing something weird. He'll be on a spaceship. So, yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't know whose spaceship it is. I don't know if this is going to come up later. Don't know. But it's now been introduced. It's now been introduced. I don't. Maybe people can recognize that ship. I don't know. I don't know if anybody will know if it's something from the comics or what. But yeah, they've thrown that in there. So yeah, I don't know where that's going to go. So the boss rings up Jennifer. She says, "Oh, I've got a winning strategy that's going to be 100% helpers." But then it comes out in the news that Abomination Prison Break, shocking new footage, shows Abomination allegedly escaped from prison. So this is a scene from Shang-Chi, I believe. Because, of course, I didn't fucking watch that shit. I didn't watch it, but I know Abomination was in it, and I've seen this scene. So now I'm just fucking confused. Because now I don't know, what timeline is this? I don't know the timeline of events here. So, is this before, I don't know if this is footage from a while back, that I don't really know, or he's escaped now. So I'm guessing this is this is before. Well, sort of during Shang-Chi, is it? Is that when it's set? They fuck up the timeline so much in this in the MCU now. You're never sure when events happen, because they don't fucking do nothing for it. So yeah, my guess is he's escaped. See if they've turned it into, oh no, actually that whole speech abomination he was actually making it up. See if they do that, I'll be pissed off about that. And yeah, I think it would be safe to say that yeah, they've probably turned him into a joke then. They gave us something, and it turns out, oh no, it's just made up. It's just made up. But yeah, I can only guess that this is the events of She-Hulk is happening at the same time as Shang-Chi. That's really that's kind of what we have to accept then, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. And then we finish after Jennifer Walters says breaking the fourth wall. Well, that sucks. Great use of the breaking the fourth wall. Oh, but that's the episode. I'm surprised it took us as long as it did. So yeah, we've been going twice as long as this show, and I think I've done more than it. And then yeah, we get a little end credit scene that they're always shit. Well, you know, from the second time we're seeing it. But She-Hulk is holding up is this her brother? I'm guessing it's her brother. Don't know. A brother and a dad are bickering about like this. They're trying to fix change the tire. Don't know. She-Hulk's holding up the car, looking bangable. Definitely looking bangable. If I do say so myself. She's putting up TVs, carrying all this, so she's just doing all these jobs. Wasn't very funny, but I have to admit, I would bang She-Hulk here. Listen, it's fine. She objectified Steve Rogers. That's what she done. But yeah, I will think about it in the shower. But that does us with that. We've now made it through the second episode. I think it was definitely worth taking notes this time. Like, fucking loads of notes. Only a page and a bit, you know. So, not too bad. I kind of wrote down everything I wanted to talk about. It was terrible. Shite. Yeah, it wasn't good. But there's the second episode, and that's us for a week. How many episodes we got now? 7 episodes to go. Jesus. Daredevil. Daredevil is gonna be ruined. Mark my words. But that's the second episode. Yeah, it was fucking shite. It really, it's like, yeah, most people praising this. It's like, maybe look for it scene by scene. You may catch some things. Again, it's been this has been a show that already is, oh, if you don't like it, you're just a misogynist. Even though there's so many examples of female characters that are great. That's what I was thinking, because I was watching, I'm finishing off Better Call Saul. And I'm thinking, look, Kim Wexler's a great character. She's a great female character. There's not many these days, but that's one you can point to where Kim Wexler, that's a good character. Very likable. Doesn't try and belittle Jimmy or anything like that. That's kind of what I was thinking last night. I was thinking, she's a good character. And watching something else that involves law definitely shows the flaws in this fucking show. It definitely does. When something like Better Call Saul is written with such skill and such they give a fuck. It shows. It shows you believe this is how the courts operate. Whereas in this, it's like, I imagine they're not going to show much of the courts because they don't know what they were doing with it. But yeah, so already the defense is, you just hate women. You just hate women. Meaning, I don't have an argument for why it's good. That's all that means. Can't be asked coming up with an argument Rather just say, look, misogynist. It's been funny to watch. It really has. It really, every time it's funny to watch. Watching these Twitter weirdos, these bot accounts, basically. Watching these Twitter accounts put out, oh, well, Captain Marvel, they said this about it. Black Widow film, they said this about it. Why is it always a theme? It's like, you're bringing up shit movies. You're bringing up shit films. They never bring up anything good, because if something's good, there's no issues with it, is there? But as soon as you criticize anything Marvel, oh, the next Marvel product, you should be excited about that. You shouldn't have any criticism. You shouldn't think about it. You should just consume it. But, you know, I've been doing a review here. Don't know why I'm talking about that. But that's been fun to see. That's going to continue. And I'll just laugh at it, really. But there you have it. Episode 2. We're done. And I'm going to get some lunch. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some lunch. Don't know what I'm going to watch yet. Don't know. I'm you know, usually what I do my review, and then I go around, I watch other people's reviews, see what they're saying, see if I've missed anything, you know, stuff like that. So I'll probably watch that with a bit of lunch. I think I'll go a cheese toasty. I think that's what I'll go. But I'll let yous go anyway. I'll let you go. You know, good on you if you made it to the end. But yeah, we're done with it for a week. We are done with it for a week. The next review that I'll be putting out is House of the Dragon Episode 2. And then next Friday, we've got the Rings of Power starting. So, yeah, it's going to be a busy week, to say the least. So, Monday, House of the Dragon. Thursday, back to this shit. And Friday, hopefully, I don't know, because they're releasing 2 episodes, so I don't know if I'm going to get it all done. It's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to watch the first episode before, like, and review it before I watch the second episode. And I think they're going to be like an hour and 10 minute long, something like that. So it's going to be a bit of a nightmare, because that I'm going to have to go through twice as well, just to get everything I need for it. So yeah, it's going to, you know, episode 1 and 2 is going to be not out on the same day. Let's just say that. But that's next week anyway. So let us finish off anyway. I'll let you go back to whatever you were doing. Maybe you were watching something good. Maybe you were watching something good. Because I wouldn't recommend this show. But episode 2, done and dusted.